Hello, welcome to the AQS Podcast, Data Voices, where we speak to people turning data into decisions, metrics into meaning, and systems into something we can feel, challenge, and build. Hello everyone, welcome to the AQS Podcast, episode 1. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. Today in studio, I'm with a very special person. He's the founder and CEO. He's a statistician. He's also a specialist in public health. He's doing a lot and he's changing the world, and he's bringing new things. Yeah. And today in studio we're with Mr. Hinda Ruton, the founder and CEO of AQS, and also so much more. So we'll dive into it. Thank you so much, Hinda, for allowing this invitation.
Thank you, Misa.
He's also the part behind the scenes, of this podcast. So thank you so much for thank you so much for believing in the mission.
So much praise.
Yeah. We have to live up to it. Yeah. So Hinda, I've been following you on LinkedIn, and I did see that recently you were being vulnerable to people who follow you, which is very important. I believe vulnerability is very important, especially in this entrepreneurship world. People need to know what's behind the scenes. Not every time it's good,
It's not like, we are with this CEO.
Not every time we're posting a partnership, not every time we're posting a meeting. Sometimes you have to get deep into it. Sometimes you have to go behind the scenes, what actually is happening. And you did share how you had to let some of your people go, and you were asking for advice, and it's been I feel like a week maybe or two since you posted that, and maybe I would like you to get into it. It looks like the entrepreneurship journey wasn't quite what you expected. Yeah, maybe on the hard decisions side. So maybe you can just start by talking about it. How is entrepreneurship? Is a startup actually what you thought it would be? Is starting it? Is like being consistent? What is it like?
That's an amazing question. Thank you very much, Misa. So I'm just I think it's Elon Musk. For me, the goat in everything entrepreneurship, who said start having a business. It's almost equated it to chewing glass while staring at the abyss. Wow. So it summarizes it well. When you start, you are so. You want to change the world, and everyone. You are the missing piece. For the
which
world.
is true. Yeah.
It's true in a way. It's not all roses. Everything. Yeah. So it's really hard. So then that's why. And thanks for bringing the post up. I think that's something I'll be. Diving into a little bit, sharing, being vulnerable. Because it's not important, not just for myself, for the people who are kind enough to follow me and read what I'm writing. But also for the team and everyone. It's hard. It's hard. Again, just always bring you back to your why. And your why should not be money, should not be fame and recognition. Because very quickly you find out that one, it takes time. It'll take the whole of you, but also on the other side of it, it's the most rewarding journey I've ever took. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of you're questioning yourself every second. Every second. But the growth is really worth it. But also not just my personal why and what AQS is trying to achieve. Really give me the strength to keep on doing it. That's really, as an aspiring entrepreneur, it's really great to hear stories that come from, especially like
people who are just like fresh in, it's always great to hear, that it always gets easier, every hardship will always come with ease.
Yes.
And good luck. Yeah.
I'll have to contradict. It doesn't get easier.
Wow.
Hard.
Shake my tables. Shake my tables. Yeah.
The hard become different. So it's just levels.
Yeah.
So at this hard, you'll deal with it for quite some time, and then it become easier. But then if you it's a great question. But if you're not, how can I say? There's no way, because if you are staying in the comfort zone, it's the jungle. Someone will overtake you. So if you need always to grow, you need always to go to find harder thing to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get easier.
I can see a lot of Elon Musk already. We can tell. Yeah. You did talk about maybe. I feel like people are speculating. They're like, okay, what's the cause? What's this? We don't have to get into that. However, the global funding landscape is very. It keeps shifting and evolving. Yeah. And I think the more maybe for me, the more I understand the entrepreneurship world, the more I see that the funding and partnership models are not very, you cannot fully rely on it. Yeah. And expectation, timelines, and even trust itself, like with this, I'm being like, okay, like I know that this money is going to come from here every time from this partner. What does sustainability mean to you now compared to 5 years ago? Your background has a bit of a mixture from the government, from global institutions in the North America. So maybe you can just touch on that a bit and tell us what sustainability means to you now, especially that we've experienced big shifts in the funding world. So please.
Thank you very much. It's that's everyone, all my friends, like, whoa, what happened? What are you doing? How are you surviving? So sustainability is in keep investing in the value that you're providing. Sustainability is in keep on diversifying the type of client and customer you're serving. Of course, this one at the beginning, and Brian, that's thanks for the amazing job you're doing. There are organizations that are use ready or data use friendly, and those ones are international NGOs, global universities. So those were our first customers. And then when the funding changed, of course, we were among.
We got affected. You got affected.
But even then, we were keen into diversifying, not just fully relying. Of course, no one predicted this.
Of course.
But the goal and everything we do is always to provide value, also to diversifying, and that goes to at the beginning of AQS. One of the ideas was which route to take. Are we going the non-governmental route or going the business route? So we early on decided to go the business route. Why? Because it forces you to keep on thinking, how can I provide value? And at the end of it, our dream is to serve huge variety, range of customer from moms and pops shops to big organizations. So the mission is big. I believe everyone should have access to data. Everyone should use data for decision making. I strongly believe that's the missing piece for not just Rwanda and the continent to leapfrog and accelerate our development. So yes, we were, as most organizations, heavily affected. But yeah, we have the diversification of not just sectors, but partners and clients. Is the reason why we haven't closed door yet.
Yeah. That's really great. So one of the things that I've always been wondering and wanting to ask was why data? Like, every time I think about it and I think about what AQS does, I'm always trying to figure out, like, okay, I get what the company does, but then how did the founder sit down and say, I need to do this, this is needed, and this is the right time? Yeah.
That's a great question. So just after high school, so I was lucky to, I got a job to be an enumerator, data collector for the National Institute of Statistics.
Okay.
So it was a year-long data collection. So I was there for the money.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then fast forward, the data from that study, like 4 or 5 years later, I guess in 08, 09, 10, sometime later, found out the data from that survey were used to craft poverty reduction policies. Yeah. And then in 2010, the president, also working with one of the biggest universities in the world, they were able to show that Rwanda was able to lift more than 1 million people out of poverty. So for me, I was like, okay, so I was collecting data. Yeah. But these data, if they are properly analyzed, if the right insights have been pulled out of those data, and the right policy have been informed by those data, the impact can be as massive as that one. So since then, I was obsessed, and even right now, my dad was a banker, so my dream was always to go and do to be a banker as well. But since that experience, it changed everything for me. Like, this is the way you can have impact. So that's why I'm always obsessed with data, and I have first-hand experience on how data can truly save lives. Yeah. Maybe can you touch on that experience that you have, if you can you just say that you have first-hand experience of how data can save lives? Maybe you can tell us about that. Yeah. So that's one, and two, it's the experience of so right after college, I worked as a statistician for the now RBC, then it was called track. But also, so just an example of HIV. At that time in my neighborhood, people were dying left and right. And then just at the beginning of PEPFAR program where ARTs, which are HIV drugs, started being availed, I could see one using data seeing the mortality going down and down and down, but also I'm not naming her. One of my neighbor who was infected by the virus. Every time we're like, okay, now she's dying this week, and almost 30 years later, she's so healthy. Wow. So I have one anecdotal evidence of seeing someone that I know. Yeah. But also the data, the work we're doing with RBC, then I could see how we were distributing, how the program was using data to avail the latest HIV drugs, how we were able to properly using data to efficiently allocate resources. So I'm not just seeing data helping the country in fighting poverty, but also working in the health sector. When I was working for track RBC now, I could see firsthand how data helped in not just halving, decreasing significantly the mortality for people infected with HIV. Yeah, that's a very
inspiring thing to see, and I could see in your lens how you came to a decision to creating your own thing that's actually impacting lives, but then you know that now you have like full like hands-on, you know. That's interesting. So now I feel like the people watching us are like, what is AQS? What does AQS do exactly? Yes, data, yes, this. The floor is yours. You can tell us what AQS is.
Thank you very much. So but again, you're working on that, and thanks for the amazing job you guys are doing. So in one word, the way I would describe AQS is just a group of very passionate fellas who are obsessed with using data literally to save lives. So and then that goes with helping in collecting quality data. But when we collect quality data, we don't stop into collecting data. We make sure that insights have been drawn. Because again, our end goal is we want the insight from the data to have an impact. So we are very creative in moving from 200-page reporting to a more summarized way in less than 10 pages, 7 pages. What you're trying to do now is transforming insight from research into videos. So because again, I just remembered our mission, right? We know that if the right insight are given to the right people, that's when the magic happens. So that's one way. The other way, we believe in data security and cyber security. So we do help create information system. So IT system that collects data. And then so because again, we're not just creating system for the sake of creating system. We do make sure that the whole value chain, from the one inputting the data, the person will get insight from those data up to the national level and beyond. So for now we are 2 years old, but we are stoked to have been able to work with local NGOs, but also international NGOs, local organization, country organization, as well as international organization, people from the private sector as well as from the public sector. So yes, that's AQS. Again, if you think of some things like whenever you have data, think of AQS. Because what we will do, we'll make sure that you're getting the right insight, real time, and we'll make sure those insights are being turned into the same.
Wow. I would love to put myself in your shoes just for a minute, and I believe it's not very easy to tell the people who need your services at AQS, our services at AQS, to actually tell them you need this, you know? Because in Rwanda, when we talk about data, people are like, data, okay, I get it, I need data, but how much do I need it? What am I losing if I don't have data? Like there is a lot that goes into the convincing part. So how has that journey been for you? Because as part of the team in comms, it's very hard to pass across a message of someone who actually needs this data. Everyone needs data, but then some of these big organizations that actually need data don't see the big or the urgency for this. So how has that been for you? How has it been to like put the message across and be like, yo, you need this, and finally now you're partnering with this big organization? What has it taken for you to be here?
A lot of sleepless nights. But also the passion, and also we believe, guys, I'm putting myself in your team as well. We believe in constantly putting it out there. I was stoked that recently we were able to go to our national television, and keep on spreading the message. It's not a one-time thing, and just having our wonderful multimedia team will play a big role into making sure that people understand the value of data. But also, and it's crazy that you're asking me this question, because when I was coming, that's what I had in mind. It's like what is the quickest way to show value? So, and one of those ways that we'll be exploring is being able to showcase that with with using your data.
Yeah.
This is how much you are saving. Without using it, this is how much you are losing. And that's something we'll keep on investing in.
Yeah.
I strongly believe it will not be easy. It will not take one day.
Yeah.
But as always, I strongly believe in this. It's AQS is my ikigai. I'll be happy to keep doing this, what I'm doing on my deathbed. So I'm planning to extend my lifespan to 200 years. I don't know if I'll be successful, but it's a passion. Yeah. I believe in what we do, but also I believe that the time we are in, we are lucky, if I have to say so, because everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is just data analysis. Yeah. So if you want to use it maximally, you need data. As everyone is playing with. So just an anecdote. I was at one of Kigali's hotel. And, it was funny to see, and I was just glancing, and I saw a relatively old gentleman on ChatGPT. I was like, whoa. ChatGPT. Yeah. So what it means, we're at a time where the need will be even more apparent, right? Yeah. Because you need quality data for AI to be of any help. Yeah. Yeah. So funny how you just talked about AI, and that was literally my next question. AI. Everywhere is AI, AI, artificial intelligence. People are scared it's going to take their jobs. People are scared they're very replaceable. AI, why AI? Everything is AI. Everyone is, even like people who are like old, they're talking about, oh, did you ask ChatGPT? ChatGPT, please refine this for me. And in today's global pressure with AI, do you think you would have still founded AQS if the global pressure was still the same? If this was the case, if today you're thinking about founding AQS, would you have still done the same thing in the pressure with AI? That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, it could have been way easier now. Yeah. Because again, as I can see firsthand in the team, the growth in skills and capacity has been exponential because of AI. We are developing tools like DataGoat that literally just replacing team of data scientists. So yes, I would say yes and no, that AI will replace people, but just quoting one of the hero entrepreneur, Jason Wang of NVIDIA. Yeah. And I strongly believe in it as well. AI will not replace people, but I think AI will replace those who are not using it. So I know I'm forcing you guys to use it and keep using it and taking courses about it. Yeah. It's because I strongly believe that AI will not replace you, but the person using AI effectively will replace someone who's not using AI.
Can you maybe touch on a little bit how AQS is using AI? You talked about DataGot. I think the people want to know what is DataGot. How are the internal team of AQS, not only our product, but then what is the internal team doing to keep up, to not be replaceable, like you said. So yeah, just give us like a 360 of how AI is supporting AQS and how we're, moving on with the global pressure that
That's amazing. Let's start with the team. So at the very least in the team, we are forcing people to use AI. As you can attest. So we have to use AI. We are encouraging them taking courses on prompt engineering, which is the science on how to talk with an AI effectively. That's in what we do, and then what people see the result of it. People see the result of it. It's like, oh, this was taking me 2 days. Now I can do it in 30 minutes. So again, it's one of those tools that will give you an instant result, and that's helping in the adoption of it. But also we are going beyond just using it, or you just using the generative AI. We are producing tools that will help everyone else in using AI. So all the tools that you're developing, we are integrating AI in it, because AI is helping in removing all the routine activities that takes time. So one of the product is DataGoat. So DataGoat is it's your team of data scientists that you have in your pocket. So DataGoat will help you clean your data, will help you analyze your data, and will help you interpret your data. And before that, you needed a team of five people. Someone will help you in cleaning the data, someone else will do the analysis, and someone else will help with the interpretation. All done in a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. And that's the impact of AI, and how I think AI will help speed up our mission of making sure that data are used to accelerate the development of not just Rwanda but the continent.
Back to, you talked about having young people on your team, and what does it actually mean to build an African data company that's not just local but global by design, and where you have young people who you have to kind of mentor? You're juggling a business, you're juggling being a founder, you're juggling a lot, but you're also juggling to mentor these people. And as you mentor them, not only are you being successful as an entrepreneur and your business model is being successful, but also you're making them successful people, and you're pushing them, pushing the limits. I know it could be hard, speaking from experience, it could be very hard, because sometimes it feels like a mentorship program. but maybe someone coming from someone from you did mention that you were working for a global institution in Canada, and one of the reasons why you moved back was because you saw so much potential in Rwanda, not only with the data crunches, but also with the people that you would work with, which is also the youth that you work with now. So what is it exactly to juggle all of that? But then you're working with you're an African company, and it's designed to be, if you look at AQS, clearly it's designed to be global. So how is it? How does that?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of selfishness in it, because I think I'm an educator by heart. It's a passion of mine, of mentoring and seeing the growth in people. So that's probably the selfish part. But working for those global organizations, one of the, again, I know you've been in the north as well. I think the main difference between our mindset and their mindset is, for me, that was the key differentiator. What do I mean by that is, in Canada and the US, people are empowered. They're being told that you can. They've been given the resources. They've been given the mentorship, and they're being held accountable. So we have the same genetic package. So again, so the idea is knowing how Rwanda are resilient. If I bring the same structure, the same environment, i.e., this is where you get knowledge. This is the standard. I will hold you accountable to it. I'll push you, and the beauty of it is, with time, it doesn't take time, which is the most fascinating part of of being in AQS. You see the growth, because we can, especially Rwandan. Since we are, we are very proud people, and hardworking and super smart. So there was no doubt in my mind when I was able to see, the main difference between what they do and what we do is the standards are high. Their accountability system is there. It's working. People are encouraged to not just encouraged but shown where to get answers, and then you let the magic happen.
Yeah, that's really great to hear, because sometimes people always feel the need to just, it's very rare to have someone who is a boss, but then they're also helping you better yourself, like you talked about, maybe the courses and like always trying to better yourself, because these are not things that you only learn and leave there. These are things that are facilitated for, and they help you do better, and then help you do your job better, and then as you're doing your job better, you're upscaling yourself. So which is very interesting, and I hope other entrepreneurs who are listening get to incorporate this in their business model as well, so they can just help, not only creating impact for your clients but also internally in the team. It's very, very crucial. So I don't want this to be a very long podcast episode, but as we're heading to the end, where do you believe the data space in Africa is headed in the next 10 years? And what role is AQS fighting for in that map?
There's an increased appetite for data. So I guess in a very short term, there'll be an exponential amount of companies that are trying to go into the data. Then the people are contacting me. People are pivoting a bit, and trying to go into the data space. So at least there's the people are seeing the need for data, and I could see even opinion leaders talking about data more and more. So I can see that the data business will keep on growing. But that's where we need to double down. I mean, not just as AQS, but our government in two things. One, fully supporting local organizations, investing in our youth in capacity. But also I think those two will be key. The trend is changing, but I would love to see it speeding up a bit. It's I have I'm hesitating using the word, but preferential treatment for organizations. So the default still is to contract global organizations. Or they will, when you're being contacted by those global organizations, you could clearly see that everything they are they still seem to be just I mean, sorry to say it, but you've been in the US, just a quick example. So when I was in Canada, I developed a passion for American football. So there's a rule called there's a policy called the Rooney Rule. So basically, it's if you want to hire a coach, you need to show that you've interviewed black coaches. So now, so like let's say team will interview someone and the guy, and everyone knows that it's just to tick a box.
Tick a box,
So it does still feel like that.
Diversity higher.
Diversity higher type of thing. And we would call upon our leaders, and everyone that will has always been a leader in that into making sure that people are given proper chances and let them do and accompany them. And so that we can own our data, which will be translating to owning our intelligence, because this is where we are heading to. Into with AI, it's we need to avoid the same problem that we have in the past of sending coffee and then coming and buying Nescafe in supermarkets. So let's make sure that for this revolution, data revolution, we're encouraging local organizations that are turning data into the final product.
You did talk about how there is a big appetite that's growing for data, and maybe what do you think, or what conversations do you think that your clients or your targeted clients are having that were not spoken about 5 years ago, or even even earlier than that, even when you just started? What conversations do you think are being sparked in this this era now, where data is really growing, like you said?
It's I hope it's not a fade, but it's just everyone. There's these buzzwords. Evidence-based.
Yes.
Data-driven.
Yes.
So now people are trying to have some version of it. But the data literacy, I think it's two things, right? It will take time. So everyone is the appetite is coming from I guess the impetus from the leadership. We need to have data-driven decision. Our policy need to be evidence-based. So the translation of that into something tangible, i.e. into proper investment, getting those data is not there yet, and so it might take time. So I just hope that budgets and because that's the that's to be honest, that's the only sign that are being given value. It's someone is paying for getting data and turning data into insight, and they're using it. So as long as that's not been translated into call for proposal, then I know that it's still buzzword. It's not translated.
So you feel like the conversations are not really directed where you would want them to be, or where they create a strong need for AQS's services.
And the only way that might happen. The only way that because everyone said data and evidence. Yes. But the yes has to be turned into a dollar amount if you something that you really value and contract. So as long as there's people are not putting money where the thought are, then it's still something, still a nice to have, not a must have. And I guess it's a conversation that will still be heavily driven by the leadership. But for me, the concrete sign of a translation between we love the idea of having data and I love the idea of evidence-based policy will be into a proper investment into data system, into team that are translating data into insight and the use of it.
We still have a long way to go when it comes to understanding and investing in data systems and information systems that will save you money, that you keep on feeding information, and they'll generate a lot for you. And it's very hard to think that something that you see on your laptop is going to save you a lot of money. But in the world we're in, I think it's high time we start believing. It's high time we start believing. Maybe as we come to an end, if AQS does become $1 billion company, which we always hear, as someone who is serving this mission, I know, and I know what it means to, I know how much work it's going to take us to become $1 billion company. So if AQS became $1 billion company, what story would you want that valuation to represent?
That's a magnificent question.
Yeah.
I hope that means that the value we provided, because at the end of the day, money is energy. So if you're $1 billion company, did we provide value that is 2-3 times our valuation? Not because of a hype, or because, but it's just definitely we are providing this value. And that's to be honest, that's the rationale behind pushing ourselves to be that. It's like, are you providing so much value that you're worth this amount of money? So it's for me, it's just an indication that we've changed lives, we've saved lives, we've made the world a better place. Again, going back to my to how I love data was being able to link collecting data that I was collecting in villages in Rwanda to the policy that were implemented from this data, and the number of people lifted out of poverty. So if we can replicate this at a level where AQS is valued at $1 billion. To point AQS is $1 billion company. Then I know that we've provided values that is worth that. So it's a great question. That means that we've provided so much value that it's worth $1 billion plus.
Okay. So maybe in a summary, you believe that for the valuation to be represented as $1 billion company, then you have to have created that type of value and impacted lives. And that's a really good way to end off the podcast. Thank you so much, Hinda, for taking your time. I believe that our listeners today will obviously have Hinda again and again and again. But I hope our listeners today really understood how crucial it is to invest in these systems, in these data collections, in data as much as a buzzword it's become, but just to make sure that you're making the right decisions, to make sure that you're informed enough, to make sure that you're not losing money, that you're actually making money, and that you can learn from your mistakes. It's always hard to, so this was a very educative one, and I hope that our listeners will enjoy this. Thank you so much for choosing to spend out your time with us. And maybe, Hinda, before we close off, if you have something that you can tell the people, maybe something that you've wanted to talk about, especially because this industry is it's not very saturated, so I feel like there's so many and hard voices. So the floor is yours. Anything to close off the podcast?
Close the podcast. One is visit our LinkedIn page. That's where we share success, and now we're starting sharing our failures as well, and just you get to know us better. But also maybe the last one thing I would finish up on is to encourage not just organization, public and private, in investing in data, but I guess everyone strongly encourage them to go into the data. So maybe ending up with our vision is I'm always dreaming on the time when what we do is not just being providing value, not just for global organization or national organization or an enterprise, big and small, but at an individual level, because even we do collect data, and how are we using this data, not letting Instagram and and YouTube using your data for the purpose, but how can you as an individual be able to understand those data and start using them for decision making? That's a very long dream of mine, but I guess with AI we are closer and closer to that.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Hinda.
Thank you. This was a fascinating conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys.